In this video, the Historic Ordnance Series, we are going to be looking at the former Yugoslavian PMA-1 or PM-Alpha-1 low metallic anti-personnel mine. Now this mine falls in the same category as the PMN-1, PMN-2, American M14. This is in that toe popper category. A small amount of explosive meant to be set off by foot pressure, meant to take off the foot and damage the lower leg on the target to cause casualties on the enemy, which takes more than one soldier off the battlefield. You kill a soldier, you're just taking one off the battlefield. You wound a soldier, you're taking at least two off the battlefield. One person who's injured and one person who has to watch over that injured person until they are evacuated. Now, it looks like these mines probably entered service around the mid-1950s. And this mine is an evolution from the Soviet PMD-6 wooden box mine or shoe mine, which the Soviets developed in the late 1930s. Deployed during World War II. Germans copied them during World War II. And that mine, the PMD-6, is one of those diagrams, one of those things that the Soviets passed off to national liberation fronts around the world. When they would support them, they would give them a book of information, and the PMD-6 was in there. Well, the Yugoslavians, they weren't officially allied with the Soviet Union. They were neutral, but they must have looked at the PMD-6, liked the idea, and said we should come up with a way to be able to mass produce these, keep them in storage, get them to last in the ground longer than the PMD-6, because the PMD-6 is made out of wood. That wood rots, it degrades, and usually within about a year to 2 years at most, that mine is effectively neutralized. This will last in the ground longer, but it does have its issues with the materials that were chosen for it. Now, some of the technicals on this: length is 5.5 inches, width is 2 3/4 inches, height is 1 1/4 inches, weight is 14 ounces, of which 7 ounces is the explosive filler. The explosive filler is a TNT blend. And apparently there's a note from EOD sources that the particular blend that they have for these mines, the explosive is extremely hygroscopic. So it sucks up water, and when that explosive material is saturated with water, it's essentially mush. It will not go off. The fuse also that is on this mine is also extremely susceptible to moisture, and if it gets wet, it will not go off. Now, the fuse that is used on this is the PMA-1, which is right here. It is a chemical fuse. It's chemical compounds inside meant to set this off. It is not striker hitting a primer. And the compound that is inside here is friction sensitive. Now, how this fuse works, if you look at the diagram down here, when the lid comes down, you got a little shelf or a blade right here made out of plastic that comes down, crushes the end of the fuse. Now, when it does that, it causes friction inside, igniting the chemicals inside here, which set off the blasting cap, which set off the explosive. And according to EOD, if they're in the ground for a long time, they get wet, they get damp, they will not work. However, it has been tested where they took the stuff, got it damp, and then let it dry thoroughly. Then the explosive and the fuse worked just fine. These only come in green plastic, and reportedly there are 2 drain holes on the bottom case of the mine here to let water out. because of the moisture problems. That was the Yugoslavians' way of solving that issue with moisture, is just to put drain holes on there which actually let moisture in. Instead of improving the explosive or the fuse, they just drilled a couple holes because that's cheaper. These mines are packaged 100 mines to a crate. The fuses are packaged separately in another case, and there are 100 fuse assemblies inside that crate. These mines are found in the former Yugoslavia, Angola, Albania, Algeria, Congo, Namibia, Tunisia, Uganda, Indonesia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Now, according to information I found out of the Balkans, some forums and stuff there where I was able to get some of the information, people that served in the Serbian army or the Bosnian army, Croatian, whoever, they posted that around 2000, the different republics of the former Yugoslavia joined the Ottawa Landmine Treaty, and starting in 2000, all of those countries started destroying their stockpiles of PM-1s. But with how porous everything was after the Bosnian Civil War, without a doubt, a lot of these probably did end up on the international arms black market, but they were marked down as being destroyed. So they are out there. This mine reportedly is almost identical to the Israeli number 4. So the question is, who copied who, or did they just come up with their own solution to the limitations with the PMD6? Now, even though this mine is low metallic, reportedly the fuse has more than enough metal in it to make it easily detectable with metal detectors. But there is a note from EOD sources that a non-metallic fuse reportedly was developed by the Yugoslavian military before the breakup, but no one knows if it was ever built, if it was ever manufactured. The only types of fuses they found is this type, and the metal compound that will, or the metal that will be on this fuse, is the metal from the detonator on the end of the fuse. Now, installation on these, pretty straightforward. First off, you're going to inspect the mine, the explosive block, and the fuse, and the detonator. The detonator and the fuse are separate items. The detonator for this is a standard number 8 blasting cap. Go through, inspect them, make sure they're usable, make sure the explosive has not degraded too much, make sure the fuse is not damaged, has not been crushed, set off during storage. Everything is correct, everything's usable. Transport the items up to the area where the mine field is going to be put in, or the mines are going to be located. Once you're there, you're going to prep the area. You can hide it in vegetation like grass like this because of how small it is. The other option is dig yourself a hole in the ground to the height of the mine itself. Make it a bit wider than the mine so that the foot will not bridge over the top of the mine. You want the pressure directly down on the top of the pressure plate here. So make sure that the hole that is loosened up is wider than the average width of a foot. Once you got the hole excavated, you will open up the casing. You will get one explosive block, and they are pre-formed to the size to fit inside here. The fuse and a detonator. And then you're going to start prepping your fuse. Now you will take the fuse, you will insert on the business end here, the end that has the threads, you will inset the number 8 detonator into the channel. You will then screw the fuse into a socket that's on the end of the explosive block. You will then place the explosive inside the channel here in the bottom of the casing on the mine. You will then remove the protective cover from over the end of the fuse. Reportedly, there is a rubberized cap that goes over the end to protect this area. Remove that cap, lower the explosive down into the mine, set the fuse onto a little shelf, you can see right here, on the bottom casing. This area here has a little notch for it to sit down inside. Once you got the explosive and everything in there, close the lid. Do not close it hard. And then on a lot of these mines, it looks like they did put kind of a safety pin on the end here on the top cover. When the mine is in the hole, remove that safety pin out of there. Do not touch the pressure plate and camouflage. Now, the poundage to set this mine off is between 6 to 37 pounds. It's not much. Now, to remove this mine, first thing you're going to do, you're going to check the general area, make sure there's not other mines and booby traps around that mine that you were not aware of. This is one of those mines that would be used to protect a anti-tank mine. One of those secondary protective mines to prevent the deminer from coming in and pulling the anti-tank mines. If the area around the location where that mine should be located is clear, locate the mine itself. Once you locate it, you're going to uncover it. There is no secondary fuse well on this. Doesn't need to be. But you will go through and you will check to make sure there is nothing underneath the mine or attached to the sides as an anti-handling device. You never know. Everything is clear, you don't find anything. At that point, you're going to carefully open up the top cover, the pressure plate of the mine. You're going to carefully remove the explosive block with the fuse assembly attached to it. Lift it up, stand it up inside the mine here. You are going to unscrew the fuse assembly from the explosive block. Once you have the fuse assembly clear, you're going to put the explosive block back in the mine, and you are going to separate the detonator from the fuse assembly. It should just slide out, reportedly, from what I was coming across. At that point, the mine's been deactivated. If you have the safety pin to put in here, put it in there. And then turn in everything to the mine dump for possible reuse or destruction. As I said, this mine is extremely simple. The only complicated, I think, on it is essentially the fuse assembly. They could have done a little bit better, but hey, they did what they did with it. So these mines are out there. They do have a tendency to appear across Africa. Who knows how many of these have been smuggled out of the former Yugoslavia, even during the time period when the different Yugoslav republics were reporting that they were destroying existing stockpiles. And from what I came across, the former Yugoslav republics have reported to the organization that is set up to monitor for the Ottawa Landmine Treaty. That organization is reporting that Yugoslavia has destroyed all existing stocks of mines. But there you go. The former Yugoslavian PMA-1 low metallic anti-personnel mine. Now, for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.